Whether it's power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry.
Welcome to Rugby AM. The scene is set here, down the lane, over 10,000 fans packed in. We could be watching a potential grand final rerun tonight. See how it goes. Castleford versus Leeds. And Jonesy's got a lot prettier tonight. Introducing our new host, Lois Purcell. Lois, it's great to have you on board.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. First night in tonight, and I don't think you could ask for a better game. Local derby between Cass and Leeds. We're looking forward to see what the match has got to give.
She's not just a pretty fish, she's the England hooker, hopefully going to the World Cup this year, so you know your rugby.
Know a bit about it, I'd like to think.
Castleford, as they walk out onto the field, they've been the dominant team this year in Super League. Grand final beckons with a home semi-final. Leeds need a win tonight to confirm the home semi-final, and it means so much, doesn't it, Lewis, to get that home draw in the semi-final?
I think it means so much to get that home draw, but I think tonight as well it's a bit about pride. We all know what happened last time Leeds were here.
66-10.
And we're hoping that, you know, for Leeds' sake, that they get a better game, and I think that the fans will want a good game, and I'm hoping for a close encounter tonight.
We've got an action-packed show, a fantastic teammates later on. We're in the boot room post-match for fan cam, but right now let's go meet a real local hero, Paul Taylor from the boot room. He's been there for 10 years and he's seen it all. Let's go pre-match to see Paul Taylor. From the side of the pitch, we're meeting one of the characters of the town of Castleford. Last time we were here, you might have seen a video that myself and Wagger did. After a few drinks, it has to be said, in the boot room pub opposite the ground, it's famous. All the Cass fans love it. And we're meeting the man behind the boot room, Paul Taylor. Paul, how are you, sir?
Yeah, great. Good, thanks.
Now, let's talk about the boot room, because the boot room, it holds a special piece, you know, a special place in every Cass fan's heart. It's right opposite the ground. And you're definitely the fans' favourite boozer on a match day.
Very much so. They all come charging down here. We've got the beer garden. It keeps them all happy. Plenty of beer, and they go in the game and hopefully come back out happy and have enjoyed the game.
And as a Cass fan all your life, you must be on cloud nine this year.
Yeah, 51 years of watching Cass has been it's been a long time, and a long time waiting to get that League Leaders Shield. It's been fantastic this year.
All those players, all the great teams, the classic Cass era, with your Mal Rayleys and all those, Alan Hardisty, Kevin Beardmore. Where does this team rank amongst those teams?
I see them as probably the most complete, best team that we've probably ever had.
Ooh, big shout.
But we obviously we've got to start winning some silverware to back that up as well. The League Leaders Shield hopefully was just the start of it. Maybe we can go to grand final and grab that as well.
And you talk about what's really important in any business, in any sport, is generations, getting new fans on board, and now we're going to see a whole new wave of junior Cass fans. Yeah,
because all the kids want to be wearing a Cass shirt now, just like I did when I was 5-year-old, you know, walking around, and I wanted to be a Dennis Hartley, you know, and all that kind of thing. It was just one of them things, and that's how I ended up being a supporter for 51 years.
Darryl Powell, he's done an amazing job. Talk to me about what Darryl Powell's done for this town, because he's come from Featherstone, he's come from the dark side, come to Castleford, and he's done an unbelievable job.
Done a great job for the club, for the town, for me as well. You know, it's increased my trade. If Castleford are playing well, more people come, more people want to drink down here. You know, it's been great, and he's brought a club that was at one point on its backside and really lifted it and took it to the top end of the Super League.
One thing I always love about Castleford, when you drive in, go past the Haribo factory, everybody loves a bit of Haribo. On the right hand side there's a few pitches there, and you always see kids playing rugby league. It really is, it's in the DNA, Cass people. I think the town's got just over 40,000 residents, yet over 10,000 make it here. A quarter of the town's population get down here every match day to support. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, everybody in Castleford seems to want to follow Castleford. I remember back in 2000, Jungle.com, who were the sponsors at the time, took us all to London. And instead of it just being about 5 or 6 coaches that maybe went down to London, it ended up being 6,000 people went. And I think it cost Jungle.com something like £50,000. You know, but that's how just a little something special can bring this town together. You know, Wembley, London trips, even go to Catalans. You know, everybody makes an effort to go to Catalans and stay over in Lorette and enjoy a long weekend or something like that. You know, and everybody knows everybody else, which is great.
14 coaches made the journey to Catalan this year. We're good pals with David Fotty from Catalan Sports Tours. We're going to ask you a few personal questions because you've got a great show, but first, what's that tattoo about, marching on together?
Well, for my sins, I'm a Leeds United supporter as well. Get a lot of stick for it sometimes on rugby days, but it's definitely not a Rhinos thing. It's obviously in the first line of the song is "Here we go with Leeds United," so I'll stick by that.
And the shirt you're wearing in memory of Lewis dance. Tell us a bit about Lewis and about the Boot Room Tigers.
Well, Boot Room Tigers is a touch rugby team, and many lads, Adam Price and a few others have all brought it together, and it's come together under the banner of the Boot Room. We had a number of players, and Lewis Dance, who used to be a rugby league referee as well. He unfortunately he got cancer and passed on, and rather than just let his memory fade away, we decided to have shirts embroidered with his name on, just as a memento. And we put one of those up in our bar just to show he's still thought about. And it was sad times, but you know we still remember him.
And we'll see you back at the end of the show, right in here in the beer garden for fan cam.
Yep.
I can't wait. Right now, let's go see Lois Russell and find out how the players are feeling pre-match.
A massive game tonight, you must be excited. Fans will be fantastic here, all getting behind you. They're as excited for the business end of the season, the back end of the season. How are you feeling ahead of tonight's game?
Well, I'm feeling fresh. Personally, I've not had that many games this year with my injuries, but looking forward to getting out there tonight. It's going to be hopefully a massive crowd. As scale of things go for the game, this could potentially be a grand final, so we want to go out there and do our best, and obviously we've already got our positions placed, but that doesn't mean anything because we've got anything to fight for our positions in the actual semi-final.
I think that's what we've just been talking about. We've been saying that, you know, that's a big part of your motivation at this part of the season, is that everyone wants to play well, they want to be informed because it's getting to the exciting, the semi-final, the grand final potentially, and that must be exciting, and that must be giving you a big push when you're coming onto the pitch.
Definitely. I mean, if anything, that's the biggest motivation that anyone could have. You want to be challenged against the players in your own team, and obviously we're all doing our bit to get into that squad, so hopefully it'll bring out the best in everyone to actually get in that squad. Zach,
you must be looking forward to tonight. You're playing against your former club. Last time we played out, it was a big victory for Cass. What are you thinking ahead of tonight's game?
It's first versus second. Always tasty. I've been on the receiving end for a couple of years, but playing for Leeds, and you know, the last couple of times I've been played for Cass, they've been really good. We've got 3 victories out of for playing in 3 times, so I'm hoping to do it fourth time lucky.
I know that you've been Leeds' bogey team this season, haven't you? You know, you've had some closer games. The last one at home though were quite the whitewash. I don't think anyone were expecting it. Are you expecting a close game tonight? What have you been speaking in camp, in training this week?
Yeah, the first one was a bit of a shock to everyone. Yeah. I didn't expect it myself, and ever since that one, when we've played them another 2 times, it's been really close, especially the first half. And I think after about 20 minutes into the second half, we've gone away with it a little bit. So I'm expecting quite a fiery contest. It's going to be a packed out stadium.
So Rob, obviously not playing tonight, serving a 1-match suspension. How are the lads feeling ahead of tonight's game, and are looking forward to it?
Yeah, really excited. It's obviously Leeds Cass games are always big, and none more so than this year. Than, you know, obviously Cass being the team to catch. So yeah, it's a big game for a lot of reasons, but you know, the fact that it's a derby always has that edge.
I've said that it is a local derby, so they're expecting a lot of fans here tonight. I think they've sold roughly about 10,000 tickets, so it should be hopefully a full stadium. What sort of atmosphere does it bring? You've played in quite a few derbys in your time, so what sort of atmosphere should the players be expecting?
Very hostile. Obviously, you know, Cass, Weldon Road is a very close-knit stadium, an old rugby fashion stadium, so obviously the fans are not too far from the pitch, so you'll pretty much hear what they say to you. But No, it's great atmosphere. It's great. I mean, Leeds always bring a great following over here, and just that sort of rivalry just brings out the extra edge in the crowd. I think the crowd get a bit more fired up, and that, you know, feeds to the team as well.
So Matt, we're here at the Jungle, Menderhose Jungle Stadium, and you've played here once this season. What does it bring, the atmosphere at the stadium?
Yeah, played here last time. It didn't go to plan that night, but no, it's a very loud atmosphere, so I'm looking forward to tonight.
I think, like you say, it didn't go to plan last time you were here, and I think the thing is, it's not Leeds way, is it? And I think that will never be in your game plan. How has this week's planning been going? Has it been any different, or have you got any focus points for tonight, or how has this week gone?
No, it's gone really well. So yeah, everyone's pretty excited about the game. Yeah, last time we sort of it was a bit of a weird game. We had about, I think, 7 guys pull out in the captain's run, so it was a tough one. But no, everyone's really excited. Cass have obviously they've played really good all season, and they're continuing that. So yeah, it's a good test.
Whether it's power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry. Whether it's power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry.
Welcome back to part 2 here at Rugby. Action-packed part. We're meeting Steve Mascord, the Aussie journalist legend, and to hear about his new book, Touchstones. But then afterwards, we've got 2 of your teammates, Matt Cook and Ollie Holmes, talking about you boys, giving a few secrets away. What are they going to be kind to you? Are they going to be cruel to you, mate?
Ollie Holmes has got a few secrets of himself. In the locker, so no, it'd be a strange one. 2 strange characters actually. Matt Cook is very strange, but he's got good humour. I reckon that'll be quite interesting actually.
Right now, let's go over and meet the man himself, Steve Mascord. Steve, you're on a whistle-stop tour of the world, really, promoting your new book, which we're going to talk to you about. But firstly, it'd be just great to get your insight into the greatest game on earth, which is rugby league.
Wow, that's the most open-ended question I've ever been asked. What is your insight into the game of rugby league? I've never been. Why would you like to be more specific?
Yeah, just I think sometimes, obviously, we did the Legends game last week, and over 5,000 people come out to support, on the back of some really good promotion. And I think what I struggle to get my head around is why, when the game's so good, the product on the field, we're still struggling for crowds. We're still struggling for people coming through the turnstiles to support the clubs.
Yeah, it is tough. I think a lot of it comes from it's almost like live by the sword, die by the sword, and I guess it's like you're born in the poorhouse, you live in the poorhouse. Rugby league was obviously born through the fact that many people in this part of the world couldn't afford to get injured, and they'd be time off work, and so that's how the game came about. And unfortunately, we still have a lot of people in the game who are all about the money and all about themselves, and they're a little bit desperate. And as a result, we tend not to be as visionary as we could be. And maybe the secret to changing that is to change the DNA, or the gene pool in rugby league, to get more people involved who don't need the game, but actually want to be involved in the game. And I think you and I have been to Toronto, and we've seen what it's like.
Unbelievable.
There. And I think we probably need more like that. We need more like that, and I mean more people involved in rugby league who don't worry whether they have a job tomorrow or not, who would just want to do what's right for the game and damn the consequences.
Are you a fan of these expansion projects then? Toronto, and obviously New York's been put on the cards now. Eric Perez seemingly involved with that bid as well. Is that the future of the game in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely necessary, and I get frustrated sometimes when I hear people say, they don't bring any away fans, or they should have a quota. I mean, rugby league, in all intents and purposes, is not played in America. How could they have local players? It's like if you put an ice hockey team in Leeds and you made them pick players from Leeds, and they were playing in the NHL. Do you want them to lose every week? You know what I mean? So it really frustrates me. I think people don't understand that a club like New York or a club like Toronto Wolfpack, they're not like your team down the street in your village. They're actually a business. Professional sport isn't there for players. Professional sport is there to make money and to spread the brand. And it doesn't matter if, as I did a column the other day, it's like they're like a Costa coffee, Do they have to get their coffee beans from near the shop? No. It doesn't matter where the coffee beans come from, as long as they've got local customers. And in American sport, the rules are different, where with the draft, it's a coincidence if you're playing for your local team. It's a complete coincidence. No one, everyone's bought in from all over the country, and the fans don't care. They don't care where the players are from. So I think really for rugby league to stop being, we're living in a globalised society. I don't think in a few years there'll be local nothing. I mean, the only thing that's local now really is stuff that's perishable, isn't it? Like bread and milk. Everything else can come from anywhere. And I think sport is like that. Sport's going to be the big brands like the Premier League and the NFL, Major League Baseball. They're increasingly going to crush everything in their path internationally. And you're either on that train or you're just waiting to get crushed. And I think it's very important that rugby league is on that train and part of that trend in society.
As part of the expansion, one project that's been a huge success is the Catalan project. 10 years we've had them, we've enjoyed the trips to Perpignan in Super League, and it could all be coming to a bit of a sad end if the Catalans end up going down in the current structure of the game. Firstly, the Catalan Dragons as a team, and we've been there this year, it were a phenomenal experience. It's really important they stay in Super League.
Yeah, I guess it is important, and particularly with people talking about franchising coming back. So franchising could come back 1 or 2 years too late for Catalans, to save Catalans, which would be a real shame. It's interesting that the New Zealand Warriors have the same sort of problem where it's a traditional rugby league area. Everyone wants them to be successful, aside from those few people who say they don't bring enough away fans. I tell you what, if you're taking the coach to a game in New Zealand, you're going to get pretty wet on the journey. So I'm glad that isn't really an issue in the NRL. But yeah, you know, if franchising is coming back, then let's do it, because you know, we don't want to lose clubs like Catalans. But again, if you didn't have promotion and relegation, if you just had licences, then you know, it wouldn't be an issue. And I'm Australian, so I come from a place where we don't have promotion and relegation, and sometimes it's difficult to see the wisdom of it. But I can understand everything's different here, you know.
Cheers for coming in,
it's
mate.
nice of you to have me in. It's great to finally visit your wonderful studios.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Hi, I'm Matt Cook, squad number 18, play prop, and the boys call me Cookie Monster. Oliver Holmes, I play second row when I'm fit, and my nickname's Oggy. Gadwin Springer. Yeah. I don't even need you to finish this question, it's Gadwin Springer. He's the most selfish man when it comes to food I have ever seen in my life. He piles it, so honestly, there's portion control involved here. I don't think he knows what it means. He just pretends he doesn't speak English when you say that to him. Yeah. Gilly lives at middle of Cass Town Centre for I think he literally walks down out in his flat and he's in Cass Town Centre walking around it. And in all honesty, I don't know if he's got any other clothes but Cass clothes. Me, probably.
I think this is selfish.
You're up there, right? So
whoa.
Start pre-season. Let's go.
Yeah,
but let's go start a pre-season, right? So you come in day one, body fats. Who's worst? Me. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Who's second worst?
Not me.
Come on.
Can't have been me.
Who's second worst?
I don't think it was me. I've got good calves. It gets
Who else? Who else is worse than you then?
What?
Who's worse than you then?
Oh, I can't think of it.
It's me and you. Two fat boys here.
Well, we've been stitched up.
Yeah, I think
we're supposed to be getting other people, not us two. If you ask Powell, it's probably Jai Hitchcock's.
We'll tell a story here. So we're on camp in Lanzarote, start at season, and we had a meeting saying 7:30, and Paula started this meeting early, so a couple of minutes early, and Jai walked in with Ash Robson, and Paula's looked at him and gone,
Still a minute early, wasn't he?
still a minute early, so he's not late and he's gone, what are you doing? He went, so Jai's gone back to Paula, starting meetings early, are we these days? Paula has lost it completely. So, I mean, Ash Robson completely got away with it because Jai turned up and said that, and he didn't think he saw it.
I think the coach has got a nice new coffee machine in their office, courtesy of Jai Hitchcock's. Is fine for being a minute early but late.
Greg Minikin. Yeah. There's a few, but he was the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Greg Minikin. I've never seen Greg Minikin see out a team drink. Never. We even sang bye-bye to him when he walked out. We'd done 2 pubs on Otley Run on a team drink over Christmas.
I'm hearing Ads is slowly getting onto the family, I believe.
I like that. He's jumped straight in deep end, I think. Like, she's even on his Snapchat, using his phone on Snapchat. I've seen this a couple of times.
and I don't know why. It's a couple of
I
weeks.
can't say anything too bad about Ads because he gives me a fresh fade every couple of weeks, so I don't want him to mess me out.
That's it. He's shaving my head off next time, innit? There's a few that rate themselves. Gailey rates himself. Buying 400 quid trainers every now and then, which I think is just absolutely scandalous, and he's got more money than sense. So he rates him saying that he dresses well. Cookie's had to be taught how to dress this year.
Yeah, new skinny jeans. Just found them.
He's only just converted to skinny jeans. He's been rocking boot cuts and Ric Flairs all year.
Yeah. Courtesy of, I was taking fashion advice off Lynchy for years, you see. I think Gailey sits next to me in the changing rooms, and I keep getting looks of disgust every time he sees me getting changed after training. So
yeah, that's at his rig and then his dressing. Yeah. Gailey? Well, yeah. Well, can you imagine if he's got a thought at middle at night, he'll just bang up wall and go, Dad! Pauli, I've thought about this new play. He's got to be.
Tinder, it's got to be Lan.
Yeah. You'd
Got
not
to
even
be.
come to... Yeah, Lan.
We went on a camp up to Newcastle, and he just gave me free rein on it for about half an hour. Most fun I've had in ages. Just swipe, 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 swipe.
Men and women.
What? Oh, come on. He probably does. Fair play.
Who fishes? Gailey fishes. He fishing. Could be bringing a few
But
fish.
can he make a fishing rod or a fishing net though?
No,
He'll have all the best tackle. Going off what you said about his shoes, he'll have thousands and thousands of pounds worth of bloody rods.
Yeah, he probably couldn't make a rod. He can't even make his hair. But
That's what I mean. So.
but I
There's
don't
nothing
know.
he can do about it. Yeah.
No. I don't know. Somebody who can fish. Gailey.
Whether it's power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry. Whether it's power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry.
Welcome back to part 3 here at Rugby. Joined by a real legend of the club, legend of the game, the old warhorse, the tightest man in Super League according to Wagger, Andy Lynch. Firstly, Lynchy, is it true, the tight man? Is it true?
I just think it gets deflecting me. All these people that call me tight, I might be careful, not tight. Just look after my money a little bit. That's all.
You've had nearly 20 years at the top, 500 games. Not many people get to that accolade either. When you look back on this career, you must be really proud, mate.
Yeah, very proud. You know, the 20 years has flown by. It's unbelievable, really. You know, I remember running out for the academy on here years ago in 1996. So I had 2 years in academy. Then I ended up going full time with Stu Raper, and everything went from there.
And did you think back then, a young 16-year-old, probably a bit skinnier than you are now, did you think you'd do 20 years? Did you ever think that the game would be as kind to you as it has been?
I'll tell you what, I think it's gone the way, Simo, or a bit more chubby when I was younger, and I've gone the other way. I've leaned up a bit now, so it don't normally happen that. But no, like you say, when I went full time, it was an opportunity for me. I was working as a joiner at the time, so I've done my 2-year apprenticeship for them, and I got asked to come full time. And when I did get the opportunity, everyone said, "Oh, do as much as you can, because when it comes to 30, your time's up, and so enjoy your time while you can." And I'm still going at 37, and 500 games later, I'm still enjoying it.
500 games. Which game sticks out of all those games? And for what reason?
You know, there's a couple of these low points and these high points, really.
Give us them.
Low points, it probably goes back to right at the start of my career, and probably some fans and still players probably still hold that little bit of grudge against me for doing it. But it goes back to the semi-final. We played at Edding, we played London, and I ended up coming on for the back end of the game, and I offloaded the ball, and it didn't end up going to hand. And then the next set, London scored a try, and they won the game from it. So I still know now, like you say, nearly 20 years on, people holding grudges, and probably players as well. So that's a bit of a low point for me. But probably a high point, getting to Wembley is a massive thing. There's not a lot of players get to Wembley.
Yeah.
I know we lost the 2 games, but just the build up in the week to get there were fantastic. And then probably the one that really stands out for me is the World Cup Challenge when Bradford beat West Tigers. I just feel that was a fantastic day, and it was just great for me to test myself against the best players.
You've played with so many great players. I can't wait to hear your top 13. But talk us through your moves first of all, because how did your first move come about?
What, from Castor? Totally mean. Sorry, Castor Bradford. Not very good, and really, to be honest. It probably wasn't the situation that I wanted to be in. It was 2004. We played Wakefield down here the last game, and we had to win that game to stay up. Yeah. So the move worked out well for me personally, in the long run. But short term, it was disappointing to leave Castle the way I did. And like you say, a couple of years later, they did come back up. But for me, I thought I went to Bradford to play with some of the best players in the world at the time, and I thought that developed my game massively.
Then you went off to Hull.
Yeah, massive again.
Great club.
Great, absolutely great. We moved to there. Probably not a lot of people know how it came along. People just thought I'm going for the money, but it didn't come around like that at the time.
What happened?
At the time, Bradford were going through the sticky situation where they need a lot of money to pay. I think a tax bill. I think £500,000 because that's the time they asked for fans to donate and stuff like that. And I remember playing squash against Richard Agar at Ponting, and he just called me saying, "How would you fancy coming over to Hull?" So it just went from there, and then obviously they had to pay a transfer fee for me. So I ended up getting another year on my contract, and then obviously Bradford got £100,000 for me. So it worked out for both parties really. So they got their money, I got another year on my contract.
And Hull, which you had a good time there.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, it was great. We got to the Challenge Cup final, and it's a great place. Hull, and the people that work at the club,
they're mad, aren't they? They're mad for 25,000 last week for the parade for the Challenge Cup. I've never seen so many codheads on in black and white.
They're just real passionate about what they do, and they speak what they think as well. So it's great. You can't do anything without anybody else finding out. Yeah. So it's a little fishbowl, isn't it? So or big fishbowl, should I say?
Back to Cass. Under Darryl Powell. Talk to us a bit about Darryl Powell, how he's helped you stay fresh at your age.
Yeah, it was great. Powell came in halfway through 2013, I think it was, when the club was struggling with Ian Millward. So he's turned the club around massively, and all the players that are coming in and were already here bought into what Powell does. And he's just great. He's always looking for new ideas in the training and for games. So if we do certain moves one week, he's sort of planning 3 weeks ahead, so we can extend it to them games. So he's great, and just not on field, off the field as well, getting the lads together. We've just got a real good culture around the place at the moment.
We spoke a little bit about your career there. I'm really excited to you 1 to 13, but what's next? What's next for Andy Lynch? Are you going to go into coaching? Are you going to stick into rugby? What's your thoughts?
Only coaching I've been doing with him always my under 10s and tots.
You've got a good team, haven't you? You've got a good team.
So it's good. I'm going to enjoy that, but I'm going to be working behind the scenes at Cass. It's not finalised yet, but there's going to be something there. So it's exciting times, and I can't wait to start doing it. Right,
well, let's hear it. You've built it up. You've played with some great players. This is Andy Lynch's 1 to 13.
Hi, I'm Andy Lynch. This is my top 13 that I've played with over my career. Starting at fullback is number 1. I played with some great fullbacks. Michael Wither at Bradford, the Ghost. He scored some great tries. Real slim, but he could get through the defences. But I've got to go with the current Castle fullback, Zach Hardacre. His feet and his defensive work is unbelievable, and Zach this year has got us out a lot of trouble, and he's got us on the front foot as well. He's great under the eye ball. He's real good talking defensively, and he scored some great tries, and hopefully can go on to do some special things with Castle Tigers. Number 2 on the wing will be Tom Briscoe. Played with Tom at Hull. He's strong as an ox. That year he was probably one of the leading try scorers out there, and he helped us massively out of the backfield. At centre, number 3, going back a few years now, is Michael Eager. Monkey scored some great tries. Another reason he's probably in there, he took me under his wing, and I learned a hell of a lot from Monkey. He was a great talker and a massive defender for Casford Tigers. And the other centre is Shontaine Harpy. He's got great footwork. He's a big beast. He sends his wingers in well as scoring tries. He's got a great pass. And he's great for us in backfield, which leads to the winger. Is Big Leslie Vinacolo. He's just a machine. When we were at Bradford, I think he scored 37 tries in 1 year. You just wouldn't like to be stood in front of him when he's running the ball. And I think he even knocked Nobby out one training session running into him. Standoff is an old friend of mine, still is a friend. He's Danny Orr. He's a great general around the field. Controls the game. His kicking were unbelievable, and I learnt a lot off Danny when he at Cass when his first years there. Which leads into the scrum half. is Paul Deacon. I play with some great scrum halves. I'm playing with one at the moment now in Luke Gale. So a real tough decision between them, but I've played with Deeks for longer. He's a real general and he's real hard on you if you don't do things right. The front row, number 8, is Joe Vagana. Joe is a massive human being. And it was great to play with, but it was awful to play against as well. It'd really get you on the front foot, and taking the ball in after Joe's and made it a little bit easier. Hooker is Terry Newton. Great bloke off the field, he'd do anything for you. But on the field, it was awful to play against. But it really got us going forward, real aggressive, real niggly. Always doing little funny things in the scrum, so it was great to play with, and it made you smile as well when you were playing. Number 10 is Stuart Fielding. When I went to Bradford, Stu was playing at the top of his game, so I learned loads off Stu. And I ended up doing a lot of training with Stu, so he helped me massively, so I had to put Stu in there, which goes to the second row. JP, again, Bradford. He's just a leader, and he's a massive warrior, and I look up massively to JP, and I see him again, I learned a load off him playing alongside him. Goes to number 12 is Gaz Ellis. Gaz I played with at Hull, and I played with him a long time ago, a representative as well. So Gaz is someone I look up to, and he's not a man of many words, but when he does speak, you do listen to what he said. He's a real aggressive in defence, and he gets you going forward, and you do follow him. So he's a great leader, Gaz, which leads me to my final one. He's 13, and I started my career with this guy, and I looked up to him massively. He's got to be Castleford legend, Adrian Vowles. Vowles is a great warrior, and they call him the silent assassin. He did everything right on the field, and I think he got Castleford to a real good place back in 1999. So my 13 goes to Vowles.
What a 1 to 13, Lynchy. You've you've only got one current player in though. What were they thinking? Obviously, Zach Adder makes the team, and nobody else in this team made it.
Yeah, it's a tough decision. I've played with some great players throughout my career, and there's some great players playing today. It's real tough. Gale is a big one, isn't it? But the one for me really is Zach. Has been awesome at the back for us. So he's probably been the standout. In my team this year. So
is he your vote for Man of Steel?
Yes, if I had a vote, yeah, Desi would be there, along with probably 2 others in our team as well. I think Millo's been massive as well for us. Obviously, you can't vote for your same, so and probably Gale at 3rd.
Tristan, I've got to ask you, mate. The future, Lynch, are you going to be a professional like your dad one day?
Hopefully.
And out of all the times you've seen your dad play, what's been your proudest memory of seeing your dad pull on a shirt?
Probably in his 500th game. That's probably the best one.
Absolutely outstanding. Right now, keep watching rugby. I'm coming up in part 4. It's post-match, and we're at the boot room for FanCam. Check this out.
Whether it's power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry. Whether it's power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry.
Welcome back to part 4 here at Rugby. The Weldon Road end is rapturous. Another great win, 8 in a row. Captain Michael Shetton, you must be over the moon with that result.
Absolutely, yeah. It's always nice to get a victory on the derby day, but I think we're looking for a little bit more today in our performance. So the first half we were fantastic. We looked sharp, picking our game plan stuff up nice and sharply, but second half,
bit scrappy.
Leeds got the better of us there. We lost our composure, went looking for a bit too much, and now disappointing finish to the game really. So a bit of a sour note, but of course you get a smile on your face when you look around and you see how good it's been. It means a lot to the fans. So we're looking to build on a lot more than that, but obviously we've got a few more games to build on before we got the big one.
Man of the match performance tonight from Zach Hardacre. He's gone off injured. Precautionary, obviously we don't know yet, but are you in a favour of like wrapping the boys up in cotton wool to that semi-final now?
No, I don't think you can really do that, because I think we want our best team going forward and playing well. I think if you rest too many people, it's hard to switch it on just for one game. I think you find. So no, I think at least most of our boys playing at least one more game, I'd expect. So hopefully Zach's not too bad. I can see him walking about now. It looked pretty bad at the time. So no, it's not nice to see.
Another Castleford win, that's 8 in a row. An improvement on last time you played down here, but just not good enough tonight.
No, not good enough. I think the first half we're
you know, we were pretty poor, to be honest, and you know, they really punished us getting out of yardage. They really rolled us outfield, and you know, coming in our time, we were fuming with ourselves, but to turn around a bit in second half, obviously we still lost, but you know, we did have a bit of a dig in second half.
You won the second half, but this could well be the grand final. Are you learning every time you play them?
Yeah, obviously, I think this is the fourth time we played them this year, and every time we played them, they've really put it to us, and we know for a fact, especially coming here, they're going to be it's a tough place to come, especially with all the crowd and stuff. You know, but we're learning, and you know, hopefully we can keep pushing for these remaining games and actually get to the grand final.
38-24, must be impressed with that result.
Yeah, I thought we had a decent first half. We're pretty disappointed with ourselves about that second half, though, letting it slip in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I spoke to you, Paul, and it's building momentum out here. So the result's the result. I think you played some impressive rugby and a quality first half. What are you going to do in the next coming weeks to make sure that second half doesn't dip off a little bit?
It's just making sure we keep us concentration, really. Getting a lead like that second half and letting it slip was pretty disappointing from his own standards. So it's just a case of getting back on with his standards and cracking on with next game.
Cracking on from there. I mean, the fans have been loud and proud all night. They've been singing 8 and 8. So looking forward going on to next week.
Yeah, we always get good fans, you know, when we're at home. It's just, I think that's why we play so good at home. It's just, they get behind us and it's just that extra man.
Yeah, like I say, great performance, so God, we're looking forward to next week. It's been speaking pre-match about everyone just going forward, trying the best, making sure they cement the place in the squad for the semi-final and for the final. What it's looking like, you'll definitely be the making. You're looking forward to that part of training and that part of the season, Paul?
Yeah, everyone's hungry. Paul said that he's going to give people a chance to get a shirt for semi-final, so the intensity in training is still up there. We just need to keep it for 80 minutes on field.
And you've got players coming back, haven't you, from injury, like Lam played tonight after, you know, being out for a while for injury. So have you got any other players looking at coming back, or how do you think he performed tonight?
I think we're pretty much a good strength at the minute. We've got Cookie out, who's you know, played well all season, so he'll be wanting to get back and fight for a position. But other than that, I think we're all right, aren't we?
Yeah, well done, lads, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's go to work. Let's go to work.
Welcome to UK Red Fan Security Fan Camp, live at the boot room. The fans are just streaming in here. Happy Cast fans tonight. Hey boys, what's your name?
Colin. Tom.
Local Cast fans. Are you happy about tonight, boys?
Yeah.
Who were the main man tonight for you guys?
Roberts.
Roberts had a great game. Hey mate, what's your name, pal?
Jake.
Are you buzzing, mate? Can you sing Sweet Caroline?
Sweet Caroline. Blah, blah, blah.
Top man, absolutely outstanding. What do you like best about coming to rugby?
Because we win most of the time.
How many years have you been supporting Cass?
Quite a few.
15?
Nah. Only 6.
You're not 6. I thought you were 20. I thought you drove down here tonight. Talk to me tonight. What? Cass just did the business tonight against Leeds.
Unbelievable, mate.
First half. All about the first half.
First half, fantastic. Second half, we held them a bit, but you know, Leeds came back.
Mate, 8 in a row. Are you, is a little bit inside you scared that Leeds could do it in grand final?
No, not at all.
Are you confident?
Cass and proud, yeah. We're
Right.
going to go all the way and do it. Do you want one?
Not missing about. I want to see you down in one. Down in one. There he is. There he is. Go, son. Go, son. Cass. Cass. Cass.
Sweet Caroline.
Everybody.
Oh, good times never seem so good. I don't believe it. You're making it up.
If you could take one player home, who would it be?
Oh, hell.
Just one. Just one.
Jake Webster. For me.
She wants to make a Jakey.
See, she didn't have to think. I have to think. Zach.
Zach.
UK Red, firing, security fan camp.
What do you reckon to tonight, mate?
We were a bit poor in second half, but I thought Ben Roberts ripped him apart in the first half.
Different class, isn't it?
Like Zach Hardacre says, he's back as a forward in a forward's body, playing it stand up. Fantastic.
Not missing Rangy Chase one bit.
We'll leave that, Yeah, we'll just leave that one, Let's just leave that,
Let's go and check out the crossbar challenge. Well done, guys.
Sean Michael Earn score. Ernie. Dave Manning, second row. Bad Manu. Joe Farrell, loose forward. Man's not hot. Nicky, a little nasty. Nicky, quick look.
Danny Morn, Mornvinio, Chief Exec. Matt Diskin, Disco, coach.
James Brown, pot pie. Prop. Alex Rowe, prop. James Harrison, eyebrows. Dave John Scott. I'm alright, mate, alright, you?
Alex Bretherton, utility.
Joe Chandler, 18th man, Chandler.
Kick man, Leeds United.
Whether it's power station, factory or stadium, covering installation or maintenance, Spec, the specialist power contractor to industry.